All right, let's go over the famous Reno Sweeney cabaret show Little Edie did in 1977. Now, this is right after Big Edie died. Now, David Lewis was the musician who was playing the piano during the week-long cabaret, and I looked into several things written by him and on him about the event. Now, he knew who Edie was. He had ridden past Grey Gardens on his bike. He had actually seen the documentary. The first time he met her, he said he walked into a room and she was dressed all in black with just this expressionless look on her face. He tried to talk to her about her cats because he knew she had a lot of cats, and she started talking about the sexual proclivities of cats. And he said he was thinking, she's either testing me or this is a severely damaged human being. We'll do something on that, a video on that later, because we need to. Now, they were able to start a dialogue when he walked over to an old piano and found a bunch of old sheet music that was very obviously from Grey Gardens. It had spent a lot of time by the ocean, spent a lot of winters. It was dry, it had salt damage, but it was written by a lot of the greats of the time, like George Gershwin and Vincent Yahlman and Jerome Kern, who is the one of the two that wrote We Belong Together. So they were able to start a dialogue, and she said that she knew the words to all the songs, and her favorites were Cole Porter and Noel Coward. Now, I don't know how much practicing they actually did, but it wasn't very long. It wasn't long till the very first night, and Mr. Davis says that on the first night he could feel this palpable just vibe coming from the audience of suppressed laughter, like they just were ready to laugh hysterically at this laughing stock. Some of the people, certainly there were friends and fans of Edie there to watch her as well. When he began the overture, the tension was palpably mounting, and Edie walked into the spotlight with her very original outfit of ruby and rust, as we can see in all these pictures. And she began with the first line of the verse of T for Two, which is, I'm discontented with homes that are rented, so I have invented my own. It says a lot, I know it's somebody else's lyric, but when we talk about things that are kind of serendipitous, we can read a lot into those words. Now, come on, dog. She answered there was a break, an interlude in the middle of the show where she would answer questions, and she, I forgot to say, when she first came out onto the spotlight is when all the laughing stopped. People were rather amazed at her outfit, and they enjoyed watching her. And what they really loved was laughing at the frankness of her witty answers of something like, what's your opinion on premarital sex? And she quipped, it's very economical. I can see her say something like that. She answered questions about the Kennedys, and she pondered that if she had married Joe Kennedy Jr., she would have been First Lady and not Jackie. Now, two things about this. First, she only met Joe Kennedy Jr. once. She was never actually engaged to him. And two, you can actually see some more. I'll save this for another part of this video. You'll understand in a minute. One night she saw Lee. Lee Razzle, Jackie's sister, and her cousin was in attendance, and Edie put the spotlight on her and asked her to stand up and acknowledge the crowd. And you could see that Lee was visibly embarrassed, and Edie had a look of satisfaction on her face. So she's still jealous at Lee, especially Jackie. But for really no reason. They never did anything wrong to her. They didn't. She was jealous of what they had, and she held on to it no matter how nice they tried to be to her. You know, the highlight of the show was towards the end, the very last song, with Neil Coward's Zagunnar. If you pronounce it any differently, so sorry. There was no talk, at the week's end, there was no talk of a career in singing, a career in performing. That really wasn't for Edie. You hear, her mother was a great singer, she was a great dancer, but really these are things they like to do. Big Edie was a good singer. Was she actually trained? I don't know. I have more investigating to do. But then Edie tries to go on with her life. I think, realizes she's not a performer, and she's got money from Grey Gardens to go out and live her life. And there are only pictures. I think there might be a CD. You would have to talk to go to his website, Matt Lewis's website. David Lewis's website. There might be a CD of a song, but I don't know of any visual video of the cabaret, unfortunately. But there might be a CD for sale if you would like to hear it yourself. But it's something that a lot of Grey Gardens fans just love, seeing her dressed up like that, because she's out of the house, and this really marks the beginning of her life on her own.